What is up, One Pride? What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Detroit Sports Alliance Roundtable. We got a small crew tonight, but we still got plenty of good questions, a lot to talk about after this Sunday and our short week heading into Thursday's game on Thanksgiving. But first, let's go ahead and introduce the panel for tonight. You have the heart of the city himself, JMO. What's up, JMO? How are you?
I don't know where he went.
Oh, I was like, I think we
where
had
he went.
JMO. We had
Where he go?
JMO. Let's let him figure that out. Do we have you back,
Wait,
JMO?
y'all can't hear me?
Now we
Hear you
can.
now.
I'm about to say I've heard y'all the whole time. No, I said, shout out to all my Pistons fans because that's how the season goes.
Am I the only one that's hearing him like going in and
No,
out?
I think he's dropping in and out a little bit.
Okay. Well, obviously we'll get
We'll
together.
let him figure it out. Yeah. What up, Luke G? How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm so ready. How are you, Queen?
I am doing very well. Well, had a few days to kind of digest and think about this past weekend's game. So we'll just hop right into these questions tonight because we got some going over this loss. Sad but true. We got to talk about it a little bit. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Thursday. So let's just jump right in. So first question for the panel. The Lions were shut out Sunday versus the league's 27th ranked defense. With that being said, who deserves the blame and what percentages between coaching, offense, and defensive players? Y'all feel free to break this down more specifically by player, etc. I will throw that to you first, Luke. I mean, who are we portioning this blame to out of 100%?
70% of the blame goes to the head coach, Matt Patricia. You have the power to change it all. If it's something that ain't going right and you don't like it, you change it. If it's something that's not the way it's supposed to be, you shut it down. And to me, 70% go towards him. So that 70%, I'm including the offensive coordinator. I'm including the defensive coordinator. Now, that 30%, let's break that down a little bit because I know some people thought that our defense played well. And I sat there and watched our defense and I said, the hell we did. How many big plays did they give up in that game? Do anybody know? Because I don't. It was that many. I stopped counting.
I couldn't tell you a number.
I stopped counting. I'm like, if you give up one more big play, it's ridiculous. But we all forgive it because they got a couple of interceptions on some mistimed throws from a quarterback who got his first start in the NFL. All right, we overlooked that. We'll give 15% there. On the offensive side of the ball. Okay. I know there's been a lot of talk about Matthew Stafford, and I'm amazed about this, but I don't know how in the hell we can blame Matthew Stafford for anything, even though he deserves some blame. How much blame do I give Stafford? 5%, because he need to know when to take himself out the game, but you know who got more power to put him on the bench? The head coach. You know who got more power to protect him from himself? The head coach. You know who else got power to protect him from himself? The offensive coordinator. We threw the ball 33 times and ran it 17, and 4 of those were RPO runs with the quarterback, which means that 13 of those carries came from running backs, actually. You want to know how many times that you need to run the ball to protect the quarterback with a bad hand? More than 13. The whole thing is messed up. So where do I put the other 15%? I gave 5 to him, so I got 10%, right? I'm giving 5 to the running back group because it was some cutbacks that they made that was not necessarily needed. Still trying to figure out why they was making some of them cutbacks, but they did. And now we go to the other 5%. I'm going to give the other 5% to our receivers. And that includes TJ Hockenson and anybody else that can catch a pass. Because the drops in that game were atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. And I ain't forget the offensive line, people. I just feel like in this game, it's not worth mentioning when you have that kind of outing. But there were some good blocks in the game, so I'm going to leave them alone. But overall, that's how I would break it down. 70% to the head coach, and the coaching staff. Leaving 15% to the defense as a whole because they've given up all kind of big plays. It really was one player in particular who was giving up those big plays, but Nobody want to believe me when I say he's a damn safety. I keep telling y'all. Y'all keep telling me I'm crazy, but okay. And then the other 15% we go to the offense with 5 going to Stafford and 10% going and 5% going to the running back core and 5% going to the receiving core. So that's how I'm breaking it up.
Okay. I'm just gonna follow you because I actually have somewhat similar. First off, we'll just get this out of the way. I want to say how horrifying it was to watch this game. I mean, top to bottom, it was a nightmare. I felt a little bit better in the beginning because the Panthers kind of seemed to be struggling to get their shit together too. But then at the end of the day, they were the only team that somewhat did. So I was embarrassed to say the least in front of 2 of my friends who are Panthers fans that were working at the venue I was at. But I digress. If I had to break down this whole debacle, though, I also gave 70% to the coaching staff. I mean, this had to be the worst game that Bevel has called since his arrival for us. I think in theory, he might have been trying to protect Stafford from further injury, but it was honestly a confusing and wild abuse of his personnel to me and their abilities the entire game. They were not set up to succeed, so they were already starting with an uphill battle to even gain any ground. The defense has been all over the place week to week, and that's still remained the case today. Definitely confused about that week in and week out. But then I give the next 15%. So I got 70% there, 15% to the offensive skills players because holy butts, the drops from the receivers and from TJ Hawkinson and even the running backs, and I'm grouping Stafford kind of into this 15%. I'm not really giving him his own. There were some passes getting batted. I think there was a little bit of fear of committing to just taking a shot, holding onto the ball for a little bit longer than you would like to see. Kind of asking a lot of the line, which was obviously not having their best game either. And then that last 15%, let's see. No. I am giving 10% to the offensive line. That's what I said I would do. Because Stafford did get sacked 5 times. Like I said, he was holding on to the ball a little bit longer sometime on his second and third reads in those. So they need to get killed a little bit too. I'm not going to kill them too much. This was probably their worst game of the season. I just think it would be ridiculous to say that they haven't been pretty reliable to this extent. And then I'm going to split that last 5% between Prater because that just was so disappointing. And there's been a couple disappoint. I'm not saying he's not clutch, but I mean, this one just felt awful.
It's not that he's not clutch. He's missing the momentum kick.
He's missing these kicks that could swing the momentum. So I'm splitting that last 5% between him and honestly, the players' inability to pick back up their own spirits. I mean, good Lord, you guys, did you see the bench? Not a person on it seemed to care about firing each other up. It's a recipe for disaster. They totally
were smiling.
And it ended up in a shutout because of it. I didn't like that attitude. So they get a little bit for just kind of clowning themselves too. But what do you think, JMO? How are you breaking this down?
Man, Daryl Bevell, you never cease to amaze me. Matt Patricia is the issue, but I'm more upset with Daryl Bevell because I think Matt Patricia doesn't really know what he's doing. And Daryl Bevell, you had a chance to be in the league. And when you start AP and you start throwing him the ball and you start calling outside zone runs with AP, it ain't like he's 25 and he can do that stuff. Mm-hmm. He's 36 years old. And I mean, to me, the coaching staff gets probably 60% of the blame, and I'm giving it all to Daryl Bevell and Matt Patricia. The game plan for this game was just terrible. You're supposed to start the game with Kerryon Johnson. You're supposed to get you a couple easy, just short passes. The one main thing about the Lions that upset me is whatever works, they don't do enough. I think Luke brought it up yesterday. Have you not seen the tight end screen not get a first down?
Right.
The only time we didn't get a first down, I think TJ ran for 8 yards. And then we got a first down. That play works every single time. Can't believe I'm about to say these words. Even with a different QB, have we not always hit the flea flicker every time? Mm-hmm. Why don't we do it more? And that's the thing to me with Darrell Bevell. Y'all, I'll leave Matt Patricia to somebody else. He's trash. I don't really have much to say. I know people was expecting a video from me, but to me, there wasn't nothing to talk about. To me, we're trash. It will be something to talk about Thanksgiving because it's Thanksgiving, and that's 60%. But then I'm gonna get the other 20% to the offensive line and the offensive skill position players. I feel like this was one of the games where I literally saw the team didn't really show up for Stafford. I mean, Frank Ragnow had like I said, his worst play of his career. Like I've never, and I don't care if you were in shotgun or anything like that or no excuse. Like the way he fumbled that snap, I was like, that really happened. TJ Hockenson dropped an easy third down catch. Like it was just so much with our players just weren't delivering. Running backs were missing holes. O-line, I mean, I think a couple of those sacks, Stafford was trying to find somebody who was open, but wasn't nobody open, so he got sacked. So I'll give them blame. And then I think I'm at 80% now. The other 20% is gonna go to the defense, and then it just goes to Stafford because he's the QB. A QB is always gonna get blamed. But the reason why I didn't blame Stafford as much as some of the other haters, or I won't call y'all haters. Yes, that's what I would call y'all. Is because he didn't turn the ball over. Like, how many times have you seen Stafford go through a game like this and he turns the ball over? Like usually, like he does because usually any quarterback does when they're getting hit like that and he's injured. And to me, a turnover, even the game was 7-point game. A turnover would have swung the game in any way, and he didn't give them the ball. And I value that considering the way this game was being played. And the rest is the defense. Come on, man. Like y'all making me believe. Like I'm not 6 feet, but y'all making me believe I can play against y'all. Y'all making me believe if I sit back there like Kyler Murray and I can throw because like. I feel like if you can throw 40-yard pass, you can beat the Lions. Because like it wasn't like PJ had a crazy arm. He was just throwing to open people. Like anybody can do that.
Right. I mean, if you've ever played flag football, you're making those same kind of throws when literally nobody is there. So yeah.
But I also don't think that just because Stafford didn't have a turnover don't mean he didn't play bad. That's not the problem. I'm just
referring to it. I would have been much harder on him if he turned the ball over.
Yeah, but even if he turned the ball over, I wouldn't have been harder on him. The problem is for me is you have to put your players in position to succeed. And when I watched that game, I didn't see situations where they were put in positions to succeed. And so if Stafford could have threw 3 interceptions, my question would have been, why are we still throwing the ball more than running? We already saw what happened when this happened before. The last time Stafford had an injury to his injured hand, we were playing the Seattle Seahawks in the playoff wild card game. And what they do? They throw the ball 45 times and they ran the ball for like 15 times. This is not acceptable on no level. And it was even worse on Sunday because the game was literally one possession for the most part. Like for 3 quarters, I feel like it was one possession. We went to halftime 7-0. Everybody forgets that a touchdown pass was actually thrown, but per usual Lions fans, we come back where we got to blame the ref. It was the right call. I'm just saying that this wasn't that type of game where Stafford needed to be the hero, and I'm tired of looking at other teams' quarterbacks not being asked to win the game, but be a part of the game. So as far as I'm concerned, it's hard for me to kill the quarterback when I'm saying to myself that, one, he clearly shouldn't have been in the game because why are you paying $13 million to Chase Daniel? And 2,
100%.
if you're going to have him in the game, don't make him the focal point to have to throw the ball 33 times in a 1 possession game. Yeah, it makes no sense.
I compared this game a lot to the Seattle Seahawks game because I truly felt. There was some cheating going on, but I truly felt that our team let us down. I mean, Golden Tate dropped that first down. We had like 5 drop passes in that game. Anquan Bolden out of character, and I'm like, Stafford is throwing y'all good passes. It seems like whenever he hurts his finger, it's like his teammate don't know how to play no more. And I feel like the same thing was happening in this game. He was throwing past like an easy pass to Hawkins. He just drops it. I'm just like, y'all already trying to make me rip my hair out. But I definitely feel like you supposed to run the ball.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, the game plan is
I'm gonna look
definitely.
and see how many times we ran the ball with Zach Zenner. And this is Zach Zenner. We had lost every running back. And I bet you we ran the ball 11 times with Zach Zenner in that Seattle Seahawks game. And we didn't have any running backs.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show there's no excuse because yes, DeAndre Swift was out, but you have Adrian Peterson and Kerryon Johnson out there,
Fact.
and you're not play calling like that. So
No, but the thing is, it's the type of runs. It's not just it's the type of. Why are you outside zone running with AP? Like every time he's been successful, he's been running through the tackles with us for the most part. He runs over people.
That's still like the biggest problem. Like people don't realize this. Sports, I don't care what it is, hockey, baseball, figure skating, cricket, you name it, there's this thing called rhythm. And anytime you're getting rhythm, it's a beautiful thing. How do you expect running backs to get in rhythm with 13 carries between two running backs? Where's the rhythm come in at? Like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
It is. And on this topic, we're just going to merge into another question because the question was the good, the bad, and the ugly from Sunday. There's obviously a lot that can be labeled the bad and the ugly. So let's keep those to one each, or if you want to generalize, that's fine. But the good, the bad, and the ugly from Sunday, name them. What do you think, JMO? What was the good, what was the bad, and what was the ugly?
The good. I'm sticking with this energy, Marvin Jones. I mean, I know Hawkinson played really well, but I just feel like he put it like this. He showed up. He was like Stafford, I'm not gonna let you go out like this type of thing. And he tried his best out there. I mean, he tried his best. To me, he wasn't working with nobody else but Hawkinson really. But they only had 4 receptions apiece. But and Amani Oruwariye is a freaking stud. Like I told you, like me and Luke was on Amani from before we even drafted him. We talked about how after Byron Murphy, it was him and a couple other guys that we were looking at like the second best cornerback in that draft.
I had him ahead of Greedy Williams.
Talking about a lot of people, but that's what we were talking about. And I kept telling people this season, Amani's gonna be the best cornerback on the team. He's gonna be the guy. I heard everything but that. So I'll go with Amani and Marvin. The ugly, man, is the play calling. I mean, we threw the ball to Jamal Agnew like 3 straight times. And I won't even write a paper on that. But the play calling, I'm gonna just keep it simple. The play calling and the bad is the defense only gave up 7 points. I'm not gonna kill them from giving up 7 points in the first half. There's no way I can kill them. They gave up 7. After that, though. After that though, yeah, it didn't work out, and that's where I'm gonna roll with the bad. Y'all kind of got torched out there, but I'm not gonna clown them for you give up 7 points. Like I can't be upset at you. That's just the way I look at things sometimes.
Okay, so the good was Amani and Marvin. We have the bad is the defense, and the ugly is the play calling. What would you label the good, the bad, and the ugly, Luke?
I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. It is what it is. The good, nothing. There is nothing good that I can find in there. I tried. I really did. I don't care if Monty got an interception. It was thrown straight to him. Good job by him, though, playing 2 people. But it was thrown straight to him. I don't know who he was throwing that ball to. I really don't. I'm still trying to figure out what was going on with that. Plus, that play was busted from the start. But anyway, the bad. 13 rushes, people, and 4, giving them a total of 17 rushes, were RPOs. 13 rushes is what we did. Not, especially when your quarterback is hurt. Not acceptable. The ugly, Jeff Okudah. I still trying to figure out what was the route that the receivers were running. Because all I saw was them they didn't even have a route. They just said, I'm going to run past you. I mean, seriously, the dude can tackle great, but God, it was ugly. And I'm gonna tell you why it was ugly. Because the chunk plays that they were getting were having us do stuff that should not have had to happen, like seeing safety help over there. But if you're gonna know you have safety help, then won't you beat the guy up at the line of scrimmage? Nope. Free release is what he been doing. Pointed this out in the whole video. Was told I was crazy. Um, like I said, I watched that game. And I'm gonna be honest, my ugly is kind of it's tagged in because it's not only was it just Jeff Okuda, the entire linebacking core. If Jamie Collins missed one more tackle, on my mama, I swear, that's how they say it. On my mama, I'm gonna have to like seriously just like start a whole campaign to get him off this squad. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the amount of tackles they do. It's like like everybody look like they moving like in the Matrix or something. Jelani Tavai, his arms be moving real fast, but he ain't went nowhere. Adrian Peterson trying to catch a pass up the backfield. You can see him think about the whole process. Catch the ball. Stop. Turn your head. Run. Snap. I dropped it. It's crazy.
But my thing is a drop is a drop. But when you catch it, look at the ball, and you like, I got it. Let me go, like take it to the grocery store, and then you drop it. Like he caught the ball, was like, I caught it, I got it. And then he moved and dropped it. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Like, he caught it and he had it.
33 attempts, people. 33 attempts. You know who threw 34 attempts? PJ Walker. I know you're probably saying to yourself, who? That was my exact question. It was like I heard Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Listen. We are praising PJ Walker for that performance, and then our fan base is killing our quarterback for that performance. They're the same stats, basically. They're the same stats. 24-34, right? We 18-33. Why are we passing the ball so much? And you know what? I think we had, what was the total yards we had for that game? Do anybody remember that?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even check stats after. I was like, we didn't score. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Well, doing some simple math, about around 210 yards, because we had 178 yards passing, 18 yards rushing, 17 yards rushing, 5 yards rushing. So
yeah,
200 yards.
Yeah, let's try 185.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's try 185.
Wait, that's so they didn't count the rushes?
No, they count the rushes. 40 yards of rushing.
And 178 yards of passing.
Nope. You got to always take into account that they account for those penalties, and those penalties take yards off, and so the total yards.
I forgot that PJ Walker threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
he did not play well in that game.
So 185 total yards. That's according to ESPN. They ran a total of 70 plays on us to our 55. We were 3 for 14. They were 5 for 15. They really wasn't that much better than us. We just was that bad.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what I saw too. I'll run into my answer. I thought the good, and just to point this out, it kind of tag teams with JMO's, what he said about the defense, except for I'm just specifically talking about the run defense. It was actually pretty stout. They held Mike Davis to 64 yards on the ground, just 3.4 yards per attempt. And then obviously I will throw some credit to Amani Oruwariye too. He did make it into the 90s club per PFF. He had a somewhat solid games, but I think he just continues to trend in the right direction. So, any credit that I can give him any week that's in the good column, I'm definitely going to. Our run defense has actually, it really hasn't been terrible this season. It's the secondary, and if our linebackers have to drop back into coverage, that just absolutely wrecks us every time. The bad, I'll just stick with one thing here and call out the offensive skills players again. It was pretty cringy. I mean, even when depleted, it seemed like all reliables like Adrian Peterson and Hawkinson were making mistakes that just make you go, ooh, like you don't want to see that. And yeah, I mean, the ugly is the game planning. Sure, let's let an XFL quarterback basically feel zero pressure will get super soft on offense at the same time and, just continue to put out defense that looks confused half the time, i.e., I don't know if you guys saw the play that Tracy Walker was literally running the wrong way. I have no idea what was going on there. But it's week in and week out. It's the same excuses. We got to play better. We got to coach better. And honestly, on Darrell Bevel's part, it's getting pretty repetitive too. The defense dropped 8 into coverage. They had 2 high safeties to take away the deep stuff. Like, you're the ones with the weapons. You should be dictating
Is
this,
that what he
not
said?
the other. Yeah, I'm like, you should be dictating this, not the other way around. You have Matthew Stafford. You have TJ Hawkinson. I mean, you still had Marvin Hall and Marvin Jones out there. Marvin Jones is a great contested catch receiver. You've got to do better than whatever that was. I even depleted, it's just pathetic.
It's even more shocking because I sit up there and I had to deal with this yesterday when I went live, where people talking about name me some rookies who playing better or who's better right now this season. All the rookies doing bad, and I'm like, Jeremy Chin on the Panthers didn't look bad. I saw him get a hit that I was like, yo, like, am I the only one that saw this hit? Like, I saw the hit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't playing bad. Patrick Queen ain't playing bad. I mean, it's just too much. And the reality of it is aside from the play calling being horrible, you know who got the power to change all that? The head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I know fans get mad when we ring up Isaiah Simmons, but every problem on our defense, I'm not saying he would fix it, but he would be there. He would be there to make the tackle. Like, our linebackers are so slow and so unathletic, and that when Jarrett Davis came on the field in that game, I literally noticed. Like, he came on the field and
he's way more faster.
He
way more
jumped
faster
off the screen when Jarrett Davis got on the field. I'm like, keep him on the field. And then we end up making them punt or something on that drive. I'm like, he needs to be on the field. But when Okudah is struggling like that, it would just be nice if you had a linebacker that could just go sideline to sideline and just be great. It does really hurt me to see Okudah struggle like this because he's a fish out of water right now.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that we cannot fault him for is that it was not his decision to be taken with the number 3 pick. And unfortunately, that's the kind of pressure that comes down on him, and everybody is mad at him week in and week out. And yeah, I mean, he's giving up big plays. We're watching the games. We can see that. But at the same time, we talked a lot about before the season started it just being a strange spot for that pick because it is such a developmental position and the type of like nightmarish pressure that's being put on this kid based on what our organization did, not something that was like his choice. I mean, I'm sure he's a confident kid, but if he looked at you and was like, oh yeah, I think I'm 100% ready to be in a confusingly schemed defense at the number 3 pick, and I don't think that I'm going to need the time the other corners need. Like, it's not his fault. And oh my gosh, he is getting absolutely wrecked on Lions Twitter and on social media and things like that.
And they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't do that. The fan base is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sick of it. And it's one of the reasons why I'm even got on YouTube. I got on YouTube because a fan brought an emotional statement out that was just flat out not true. They didn't watch the game. They just had a bunch of emotional statements, everything the quarterback fault. The man has had 38 different running backs he's handed the ball off to. That's how much they've been trying to figure out a way to get a running back. But they get hurt. All the people who keep saying tank. Follow your eyes to IE example right here. One Joe Burrow. This is what happened when you come to a trash team who don't understand how to do something. He wasn't protected out there. They wasn't out there giving that man a chance to survive. 40-some times a game. Before yesterday, he was leading the league in most pass attempts. How? The rookie quarterback. How? With a team that got Joe Mixon on it. What we doing here? This right here is the biggest problem with Detroit. These fans. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw the same friend, and they thought I was gonna back down. And a lot of us like Brian Burns, but the Brian Burns is better than TJ Hawkinson crowd, and so I'm like, y'all need to stop it. because Burns made a couple plays. Hawkinson had a good game, but it's just like that's the type of thing that I'm like, do y'all realize that we didn't have a tight end? We were the
Never.
worst. We were the worst tight end team in the league. Like, and do y'all realize that Brian Burns here wouldn't be doing much? He probably have like a couple sacks. Like he would be half the player he is, and that's not an offense to him. So I just don't think Lions fans really realize that. How many D linemen under Bob Quinn have been studs?
No, but stress that. You listen. Your stuff is way too specific. Okay, I need you to make it broad. Who has been a stud under Matt Patricia? Not how many. Who has been a stud under Matt Patricia? I asked this question yesterday.
0.
Who has he developed? I got a few Romeo Accords. I'm like, okay, so he let him play. Okay,
that's it. How did he develop Romeo Accord?
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my thing. This is my thing. The goal of any coaching staff is to put your players in position to succeed. And the issue is we don't have that. And when you are sitting up there and looking at the players, like I said, the best pick that they could have made was a pick that y'all wouldn't like, which would have been an offensive lineman. That would have been the best pick. The second best pick they could have made was Isaiah Simmons. This is not my personal view. This is just based on what they needed, right? Because the learning curve for a cornerback is steep. So, like it's greater. It's greater than. You know what? I take that back. Larry Landers is correct. Tavon Wilson, he developed him by letting him have the most snaps of his career. But anyway, but if you go through and you just look at it, this team now, everybody, I love that they're not playing Jared Davis. Because now I can't hear nobody say nothing about Jared Davis garbage, man. He's garbage. Look at that linebacker core.
Like, he's starting to look like him and Reggie Ragland are our best linebackers. I'm just be honest.
I like Reggie Ragland.
And the truth is this. The truth is this. When you go through and you look at it, if I ask you to name me the running backs on the Panthers, you will be like, Mike who? Mike Davis did that? Mike Davis did that. Where was our linebackers at? Where were they at? Our D-line whole job is to get in the way for the linebackers. And they were doing that. Where were the linebackers? Do y'all realize that Mike James had 19 carries by himself, right? Which is more than the 13 carries we had. However,
you said it didn't even look like he ran the ball that much.
Man, listen, just stay with me. If I take out, they ran the ball 34 times to 35 passes. Let's get that out the way. 34 times to 35 passes. If you take out the 5 runs from the quarterback, right? Take that out, 29. Take out the 2 runs from the wide receivers, DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, 27. They still ran the ball 27 times with their running backs to 35 passes. Now flip it to the Lions side, and it's 33 passes to 13 rushes in a game that was literally one possession.
And
for the most part.
Yeah, and in which your quarterback has a hand injury.
Unbelievable. Chase Daniel, $13 million.
$13 million to that backup quarterback. But, given the short week, you guys, I think a lot of us thought it was highly unlikely that there would be coaching changes prior to Thanksgiving. But do you think that Sheila Ford Hamp will make a decision regarding the current regime in Detroit after the Thanksgiving Day game? And I'm actually going to even add to this question. Do you think it's dependent on the outcome of that game? What do you think, JMO?
I know Luke brought this up, and I told him there's no way, but I'm almost losing faith. I almost feel like Patricia going to be here next year. Like, that's how bad pessimistic I'm getting. If we lose this game and he's still on this team, I don't know what more she needs to see. But I don't think winning or losing this game is going to change anything for whatever she wants to do. Because guess what, guys? Winning this game, it's gonna be good. I'll be happy we won on Thanksgiving, so I won't be any negative. But winning this game, man, guess what? We still in the playoff hunt. Like they literally had the playoff.
Wild.
They literally had the playoff thing up. No, I had to laugh because it's hilarious to me. They had the playoff thing up, and us and the Vikings are literally like 9th and 10th seed. I think it's another team. Like we literally. Okay, I keep saying literally because it's literal. Could make the playoffs if it worked. The football gods, was like, finally, well, bless y'all. Not saying we're making the playoffs. We're not making the playoffs. My point is, when she's looking at that, and if we win, he's still here. I don't think nothing that happens this week is going to change anything when it comes to this coaching staff, sadly.
I mean, yeah, I feel less confident than I have in weeks past answering this question. I do believe with all my heart, because I feel like I just have to put it out into the universe, that if we do lose this Thanksgiving Day game, it's the final straw, and like Friday morning, we get the news we've all been waiting for. It has to be. It just absolutely has to be. I don't have much more than that other than hope that I'm right in that. And we will see her bring about the change that's so desperately needed. You're right about, if we win this and a couple other things happen on Sunday and things look like they do on the TV, in the hunt. Ooh, but I'm hoping win or lose, she makes the right decision. But lose, I honestly think
but losing 20-0 to the Panthers in a backup XFL QB wasn't enough. Like, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Luke? What do you think that, Matt Patricia being fired, is it dependent on what happens in the Thanksgiving Day game? If we win, if we lose, what do you think Sheila's going to do?
The only thing that's dependent on that game is how fast or how long is it going to be. That's it. If he win it, he gets more time. He lose it, he'll be fired by Monday. It is what it is. The reality is there. Because at the end of the day, if you go through and you look at the Detroit Lions record, you're going to see that there's a trend going on. And it's not a trend that's beautiful. He will be fired. Matter of fact, I don't even think he can make the playoffs and keep this job no more. That's how confident I am. I really believe that right now, at this very moment, this very, very, very moment, he can literally make the playoffs and they still gonna fire him.
Wow. I'm surprised you switched up like that. Wow. I'm feeling like you now. Now you feeling like me.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why. Because what I did was this: I paid attention to it. And if you look at it, and you go back to the Steve Mariucci era, when they fired him after he lost that Thanksgiving game, they fired him on that Monday. But the records are very similar, and in that season, we had multiple losses at home and we had multiple blowouts. So it didn't matter what they did. I think when they looked at Matt Patricia, they see one thing and one thing only, what the fans are saying. They went live for Matt Patricia doing a news conference, and the chat had 1,001 jokes. Like, just like, they see this stuff. And to me, what that tells me is he already know he's on borrowed time. He don't even move the same no more. He don't talk the same no more. He ain't as confident. He don't smile as much. And to me, he's a done deal. I'm telling you right now. As soon as he lose, they're gonna let him eat his turkey. They're gonna let him eat his turkey and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, I think he's out of here. No matter what he do, I think he's out of here. He would have to make an NFC championship game to keep his job at this point. I think he's done.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm playing like these crazy scenarios in my head of like, well, what if all the cards did fall the right way, and then somehow we were in the playoffs, and somehow like miraculously he won that game, but it was just a fluke. Like, that's the kind of stuff I would be worried about, like some crazy thing like that happening that's so far-fetched. Like, I shouldn't have to be thinking about this kind of stuff.
No, but you know what? That's what I actually want to happen. I want him to turn it around and win that playoff game, and then I want him to be fired so we can send a message. That's the type of thing that because of course success is one thing, but I think that to me that is sending more of a message because I think it would have to be NFC Championship game type of thing. But I think even if he wins a playoff game, that they would go fire him if that's what they're gonna do. Like I said, right now I ain't trusting Sheila. Hopefully if we lose the game, they do fire the guy. But because it's just not looking good.
Oh yeah, I
Listen,
think you
he's
lose.
fired. He's
I think
fired.
you
I'm
lose the
telling you.
entire fan base. If we lose on Thanksgiving and he is not fired by Monday, I think at that point, ownership has to at least be smart enough to know that they lose the entire fan base. I mean,
Listen,
truly.
listen. I'm gonna show y'all something. Hold on. Let me go back to it really quick. I kind of went away from it because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going crazy. So I went to Steve Mariucci, right? This is what I wanted to see. I went to Steve Mariucci, and I was like, okay, let me see what's popping off with him. And I went through those games, and the year that he was fired, oh my God, how similar these seasons look. Terrible loss to trash team, check. Terrible previous seasons, check. No player development, check. This is losing Thanksgiving games, check. Terrible division winning, check. This man is getting fired. I'm telling y'all, if he lose on Thursday, that is the nail in the coffin because the main reason is mathematically you are eliminated from the playoffs. And that right there means that they kept their word and he will be fired probably somewhere between Saturday and Monday. Now, if they keep
That's
him,
a really good point. That's a really good point. Like mathematically being eliminated means, there's not a chance, and now they're keeping their word.
yep, there's no chance for him to be a playoff contender, and there's no chance for him to have meaningful games in December. He's cooked. It's done. You know how y'all cook that turkey and that little red thing pop up? Ah, we good? It's that thing right there. Stick a fork in him. It's done. I'm telling you, he's done.
Well, we got to hope so. And, in the interest of putting last week somewhat behind us, we'll move on to the next question, which is, do you have any faith in this team's ability to adjust and bounce back Thursday for a win on Thanksgiving Day? What do you think, JMO?
My question is Kenny Galladay playing?
That's a good question. Is he?
like that's my question. I mean, I highly doubt it based on how last week went. I don't think he's playing, but that will be my first question because I don't even think it's like a game. It's like I said, it's like if Stafford's healthy and Kenny Galladay is there, it's like they go from terrible to average. But if Stafford get hurt or you lose Kenny Galladay or is Swift playing, is Swift playing? Now, if we have Swift and Kenny Galladay, I'm gonna be honest. If we have Swift and Kenny Galladay, I would pick us to win this game. That's a big if but that's the way I'm looking at it. But other than that, I don't have any faith whatsoever. But if Swift because how the running backs to me were horrible, and y'all know I love carryout, but they were horrible last Sunday. I mean, they were missing so many holes and cutback lanes that I consistently saw Swift hit that it was almost hurting me. And I think Luke was so mad that we stopped running the ball, but I think I think that's why they were like, "Oh, these dudes trash today." And that's just how I could go back and show you Adrian Peterson running in the offensive lineman instead of hitting the hole. I've never seen him do that before. It's just running back just acting all out of character. So, and that's why it's a difference with Swift. He would hit those cutback lanes. And put it like this, there is no way that we're scoring 0 with Swift on the team. There's no way because he would get us in the field goal range that Prater could actually hit at least one time. So that's how I feel. Man. But I don't have any faith. But if we get our guys back, then I think they'll coach a little different.
Poor Prater. And by the way, somebody in the chat is under the name Matt Patricia, definitely sounding like Matt Patricia. Tough game against a tough team, tough quarterback. We will work hard each day to get better, do better, execute better. So I don't know who's in there, but I'm I don't know who's doing that in there, but you got his little speeches kind of nailed down. What do you think, Luke? Do you have any faith putting last week behind you in this team's ability to adjust, bounce back, get a Thanksgiving Day win?
I have faith that they can get a Thanksgiving Day win. Adjust, no. Bounce back, no. You got blew out 20-0 to the Panthers. There is no bounce back from that. Okay, that's like getting chlamydia and saying, you know what, I'm gonna be back in about a couple of weeks and a few shots. It's not the same. It's not the same feeling. It's not gonna work. As far as I'm concerned, as long as that man is the head coach, no, there is no adjustment. But can they win that game? Yes, because there are some issues on the Texans that can be addressed and can be exploited. We have some weapons that we can use, but it has to start with you protecting your players and putting them in the best position possible. Like, i.e., not starting Okuda over Amani, or just because you got Justin Trufant back and because he's like, oh, he's the vet, and you start him over it. No. If you're going to let the guy go through the growing pains, let him go through the growing pains. If you're not going to do that, then it don't make no sense. But can I just go back really quick? Because I want to show y'all something on how similar these seasons is between Steve Mariucci and Patricia really quick. In that season that he got fired, their first game was against the Green Bay Packers, and our first game was against who? The Bears. Their second game was against the Chicago Bears, and our second game was against who? The Packers. Same 1-2 start. Check.
Oh my gosh.
Right? I'm just showing y'all this. This is how crazy this is. We played Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season. Guess what they played that season? The Buccaneers. We played Carolina this season, got our butt beat. We lost to the Carolina Panthers in that season, 21-20. This is crazy. We beat the Arizona Cardinals 29-21 that season under Mariucci. We beat the Arizona Cardinals barely again under Matt Patricia. People think I just talk and say things, but this is the reality. We lost the game against the Falcons, but we played them that year under Mariucci. We beat them this year because the coach didn't take a knee, but nonetheless played the Falcons too. And we played the Saints that season. We're going to play the Saints this season. Just the remnants of it. You want me? I'm gonna give you the worst loss we had that year. That was 2005 that he was there. The worst loss that we had that year came against the Bears, 38-6. And if you really are going to get into it, yeah, 38-6. Fun fact: guess who the quarterback was? Y'all gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Oh God.
You're gonna love it.
What was it? Grossman or something? I don't know.
Are you how confident are you feeling?
Man, I don't know. I just threw that out there.
let's try Kyle Orton. Yes.
Wow.
Oh no!
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Kyle Orton is like he's one of the worst Bears quarterbacks, and that's saying something.
Oh, he was 14. Man. He was 14 of 21 for 150 yards that game.
Jeez.
Watch this.
Down Kyle Orton. Man.
Watch this. Joey Harrington that game threw the ball 37 times. Ask me how many times they ran the ball.
10.
At least you get 12 times.
How many you got? You got 10?
He said 10, yeah.
Yeah, let's try 13. The exact same number that we ran the ball against the Panthers.
Scary
Just food for thought.
comparisons.
Just food for thought. So, but yes, I do think that we can win that game on Thursday. I just think it's going to boil down to us taking advantage of some things and us getting back to some basics. Not adjusting, but understanding that football don't have to be so complex.
Yeah. I mean, and now that I heard you guys' answers, I thought some people were going to kill me for saying this, but I do believe somewhat they can get this win on Thanksgiving. I mean, number one, this is the only nationally aired game that we get this entire season. I'm not brimming with confidence by any means, but this is our tradition. I think, sure, it could be another trap game against another bad, depleted team. But one thing I do want to believe is that if nothing else, the players hopefully will want this. I mean, I don't know. I think that they want to give the fans something to be happy about on Thanksgiving. I think everybody wants to eat their turkey as winners. And I put this on the players because I can't believe in the coaching. So I know that this is way easier said than done, but part of me is like, all right, well, for Thanksgiving, it's time to step up despite the coaching, or at least that's the mindset that I'd at least kind of like to see them out there with. Not another game full of like mopey or let's laugh at ourselves on the bench. Like, this is just ridiculous. It's time to reset and recharge. Like, get recentered. I don't know. Do some yoga, guys. Woosah. Like, let's not sulk. Like, I don't want to sulk ourselves. Yeah, I don't want to sulk ourselves into losing out. I don't want to sulk ourselves into a loss on Thanksgiving. I I want to believe somewhat in it because this is the Lions' day. I know that doesn't always mean something every Thanksgiving, but I always want it to.
I mean, listen,
Well,
it's
my
the
thing,
reality.
my thing is, that's why I said it's Kenny Galladay and DeAndre Swift playing. Because if
They
they
don't have
were,
to.
I mean, I know you can feel like that, but if they were, I would have 100% confidence we would win this game
I think
because
that's
I
enough
know they
time.
can't cover those guys.
I don't know about Galladay, but I think that's enough time for Swift to clear protocol. Don't quote me on that, but I think
But
that's enough time.
will he be okay? Because this is my thing. Like concussions is not a small thing. I've done a lot of research and experience something like that. So when that happens with football players, I get a little bit alarmed. So I don't. Is he gonna be ready? Because it's very up in there with something like a concussion. So that's why I'm like I don't really know if he'll play or not.
Well, I mean,
My bad. After that mess, Luke G, I'm happy that you have faith in us. We will work hard to do what we want to do. It is an important game, and we got to execute it better. Who said I have
now,
faith in y'all? I have faith in the Texans
wait,
having some issues.
now,
What?
now Jesus is in the chat as well. I don't know. We've got some interesting
Mm-mm-mm.
people in the
Oh
in the
wow! So
chat
somebody's
tonight.
obviously upset with Matt Patricia today.
Right. You brought religion in it? Oh my God.
Oh man. Um okay, sorry. I totally lost my train of thought there,
Yeah, but
but
Stafford usually plays well on Thanksgiving. I'll say this: we won't be scoring 0 points again, y'all.
I agree
So
there. I don't think we're getting shut out on Thanksgiving by any means, but I mean, how about the keys to victory? Like what is it going to take for us to beat the Texans this coming week? What do you think, Luke? I mean, what are the keys to the game?
Again, I'm finna piss some people off. You got to start Chase Daniels. You have to, and you have to run the ball. So the first key is you play small ball with your backup quarterback and protect your investment in Stafford and let him sit and heal. Because it's not that you can put Stafford in once Chase started messing up, but $13 million, I need to see what he's gonna get me, other than just $13 million. I mean, we talk about stealing. That's stealing. That's thief. That's a theft if I ain't never seen one. The other key to the game is I need my linebackers to actually be linebackers. Like, fill a gap. Like, seriously. Wrap up on a tackle. I need for Deron Hartman to stop letting people initiate contact with him and hit somebody. I need it. I need for them to stop putting Will Harris in the game if he's not on special teams. And most importantly, this could be the part that's gonna shock everybody. Most importantly, I need for them to find a way to play field position using our special teams because we're not doing too much in that light. Pin them back and put pressure on them, but we can't keep playing this getting turnovers and these run pass drives. So those are the things that I'm looking at that we need to get done.
Yeah. I mean, and that all comes down to game planning, which makes me super, super nervous. But I'm with you. We need to run the ball. The Texans are giving up a league high 159 yards per game, 5.1 rushing yards per attempt. So if there's a team to run it against, it's the team giving up the most yards per game to running backs. I just think that is so simple. And we do need to create pressure. Their offensive line is bad. Deshaun Watson's been sacked 26 times this season, and their run game is almost non existent 3.8 yards per carry average. So run the ball, create pressure. And now that I said that, they're not going to do either.
Right.
I was gonna say, didn't the Carolina Panthers have one of the worst rush defenses in the league too? So we did nothing.
They were supposed to.
They had so we did nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, JMO? What are the keys to this game? I mean, we obviously are touching on run the ball. We've got to create pressure. What else do you think there is?
We got pressure. Everson Griffin is killing them.
Oh my
Best
gosh. I knew Liz
trade
was going to say that at some
ever.
point.
Best trade ever. I'm just telling you. I'm amazed. I'm so happy we got him. Woo! Can't wait to see him play next year if he's here. Says no one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really, like I said, I don't really care about giving up a 6th-round pick. But
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When they switch you to that 5th, you're gonna care even more. Go ahead, keep going.
I won't care. But with the Lions, first of all, I definitely don't think if Kenny Galladay and Swift play, I would feel different. But if they don't play and Chase Daniel starts this game, I have no faith in the win. We're gonna lose for sure. Like Deshaun Watson is not about to let Chase Daniel little noodle arm beat him. Yes, I know we lost to Chase Daniel before, but he had a monstrous defense behind him. We don't have either. But now if Kenny Galladay and Swift play, then Bench and Stafford will probably be much. It'd be much easier to win. But I would rather throw David Blau out there. But that's another conversation. But besides
don't get me started.
I want David Blau out there. But look, anyway, besides all of that, run the football. I need 15 rushes from Carrion. I need 12 rushes from AP. Run the football. TJ Hawkinson, I need you to have your best game of the season. Because their defense is pretty terrible. And besides that, stop doing too much and stop with these dumb, useless plays, these quarterback run keepers, these throwing the ball to Agnew multiple times just to get 4 yards. Like, first of all, I didn't like how Agnew was getting snaps. Like, it seemed like over Cephas and Marvin Hall, and then he was going out there and he was dropping passes. So let's not play him on offense this week and use Marvin Hall, please. That's what I'm begging for. Use your weapons, run the football, and on defense, oh my gosh. You got to pressure Deshaun Watson. I'm saying, oh my gosh, because I know Deshaun Watson going to carve us up, even with his little team. Even with that trash team he got, because our defense is that bad. Like Alec, like anybody, PJ, whatever, anybody can sit back there and carve us up because they can sit back there. So
right, and Deshaun Watson is a lot better than PJ, whatever his name is,
1,000 times better. So yeah, and when I'm looking at, I'm like, man, and that's the thing with Watson. If you get him comfortable early, you're gonna have a long game. So you have to pressure the quarterback. I won't be mad at the Lions if they blitz Deshaun Watson on every play and he scores. I'll be like, cool, at least you tried. You feel me? Because you're not gonna win this game if you're not blitzing Deshaun Watson early.
Well, I mean, and that's something we should have taken from last week's game. Like the Panthers, if anything, you hate to see it against your own team, but man, the difference blitz packages they were using were nuts. I mean, they honestly were just trying it all out. I was like, wow, this is intense. I would love to see our defense do that.
What's that record against rookie coaches and quarterbacks for Matt Patricia? Oh, and what? Whatever. That's awesome.
0-4 or something like that.
Oh, and whatever and 1. Don't put whatever you want there. We know he ain't won against one. Put whatever you want. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm amazed that every season we put ourselves through this, and the fans, like, we got some of the most passionate fans there is, but God, we naive. We so naive. We be giving too much. Like I'm so disappointed in J-Mo because he didn't mention Danny Amendola not one time. That's $6 million over there. Where are we gonna use them? When are we gonna use them? I just don't get this. I just don't get it. I'm listen. When this season get over with, if the words he ain't fired ain't happening, watch this. Y'all gonna be like, is Luke on there talking about like Oregon? Yes, I am. Everybody else in football but the Lions. I'm gonna boycott them. They're gonna learn my wrath one way or another because I cannot take it no more. It's ridiculous. So I mean, just put it all in perspective, people. If you look at this team, we have a perfectly good opportunity to do something. But the bottom line is this. The Lions came into that game against the Panthers where it was supposed to be the easy part of the schedule, and they had every chance to control their own destiny. And once again, it was a flop due to coaching. Per usual, right on schedule. But don't worry about it. $6 million for 600 yards and 1 touchdown. Great signing. Greatest signing ever. Greatest signing ever.
Well, so, and this was a question that JMO gave us earlier, and it kind of just plays off what you're saying right now, too. Do you think that last game shows how much the Lions miss Kenny Golladay and his impact on this team?
No. No. I mean, listen. I love both the players, and I think that both those players are great players and stuff. I think they're going to be doing some good things. But I'm just saying that you look at these games that we've lost, we could have won them if coaching was better. It's a lot of the poor decisions. 10 men on the field, 70-yard run. Like 12 men in the huddle. Like it's weird to me. And the personnel packages and the way they do this stuff is dumb. Like Danny Shelton at DN, brilliant. Like I don't drop on core into coverage, brilliant. I just don't get it. And so to me, even if you did have those guys, they don't show a commitment to using the run. So Swift is null and void. He'll probably get a lot of passes. And Kenny Golladay is going to get the Calvin Johnson treatment. Just force it to him. It's dumb. No.
Okay, so I know that you're going to have a different opinion, JMO. What do you think? Did last game show how much the Lions miss Kenny Golladay and his impact on the team? I'm going to go after both of you guys because I bet your points are completely opposite.
I mean, of course, like they were hot garbage out there for the most of the day, and Luke is talking about forcing the ball at KG, but with an injured finger, I would rather be doing that than throwing the ball to Agnew and having him drop it, because that's when you're supposed to be leaning on your skill players and stuff like that. But to me, it's about the matchups. I keep talking like with Kenny Golladay, yes, he's a great receiver, yards, contested catches, and all that other great stuff. But the main reason that I want him on this team, and I think it matters for a lot of games, is with teams with not so good defenses, he's a matchup nightmare, like truly. And after he starts cooking you, like in the Jaguars game, he start cooking them. They're like, okay, obviously we can't single cover him. And then the moment you did that, then you had Swift and everybody else going off. So when I'm looking at the way that teams defend the Lions, it's just about players being able to get open and easier catches. And of course, Kenny Golladay on top of that is a freaking monster. Like that helps. But when I'm looking at the coverages and I'm looking at the fact that, I do think he's the average security blanket. We've be asking who it is. I think it's Kenny Golladay. I'm not saying this man is like, prime Calvin Johnson or anything, but we look 1-4 without the guy, and we have a winning record with the guy. So, and I know if he played the entire season, we would have a better record for sure. We'd probably be 5-4, knowing the Lions, even though we probably should be better than that. But when I'm looking at it like that, that's why I think he was a value, because you just saw like the Panthers really didn't respect anything we were doing at all. They're like, we're just gonna pass rush Stafford. And you throw an AP outside zone run, man, he's moving 2 miles an hour. So when I'm looking at how bad the team looked, I mean, we did score 0 points because they took away a touchdown and Matt Prater can't make a field goal. And that's the way I'm just looking at it. It's the coverages, man.
You realize that if they got that field goal and they got that touchdown, we still lose 20-10 to the Panthers?
I don't know about that touchdown. Like that touchdown was a huge momentum type of thing, and the point of that, if we had got that, I don't know about that. Yeah,
the Lions and momentum, same sentence,
right?
Well, I mean, I definitely am with JMO on that. At least I do think that momentum swings are certainly a real thing. Say we do get that touchdown, and I think it's hard to say, oh, yeah, the rest of the game goes exactly how it went after it was taken away. I think it being taken away kind of shakes everybody. Everybody's already down in the dumps, and now they're like, great. You know what I mean? Rather than like, okay, here's some life. Now let's be invigorated by it. Like, let's.
It puts pressure on the Panthers too, because you saw PJ like in the first half. I know they only scored 7, but he played way better in the first half a little bit. But in the second half, when we had the opportunity to score that, you could see the momentum. You see our defense was, he just basically he looked like an SFL QB eventually. And we scored that touchdown. They start pressing. Things can just happen in games,
I mean,
well, no, go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, I was gonna say to me this is kind of like a complicated question, maybe somewhat complicated answer. Just personally, I think his absence in one way serves to highlight his value, but I also think that his missed time undermines that. So, Darrell Bevell seemed to have been play calling this game based on his perception that Stafford was maybe going to further his injury or not be able to perform up to 100% because of it. And if Kenny Golladay was in the game, I think it's hard to say that he would have called it differently, especially considering that if he wanted to utilize those deep threats, he still had both Marvins out there and he barely used them. I mean, he clearly had a dink and dunk game plan, and it wasn't really because he was lacking for wide receivers that can make those plays. It was just really, really bad play calling. So I think it's a little bit of both for me. And I do think that moving forward, Kenny Golladay might need to consider, and I know this is just like one fan saying this, but I think he might need to consider taking slightly less, just because of the fact that although his absence is kind of highlighting his value, his missed time is undermining that, and that's going to be a bargaining point.
If I was Kenny Golladay and you're in the Lions organization and you came to me with that argument, I'm going to give you the best Jerry Maguire impersonation you ever seen. Show me the money, and I'm going to turn right around and walk out. There's no way. This is me. There's no way you're going to tell me after I don't sat here, play second fiddle while still performing, that now because I'm getting hurt, all these other players y'all don't pay. You paid Danny Amendola, he hurt. You paid what's the guy's name? Help me out. Jesus. I'm drawing the blank on his name.
Jesse James.
Jesse James. Like you paid Jesse James. You've paid Chase Daniel. He can't even play for you. Everybody don't got paid besides me. You traded a 6th-round pick for Deron Hardman. He barely can tackle.
You paid Taylor Decker too.
You paid Taylor. Well, Taylor Decker's been hurt a lot too, but that's another person. I'm just saying, all these other people got paid. Now you want me to take less money? Yeah, okay. I'm a moonwalk up on you. I'm gonna literally just be like,
yeah, Rachel. If Golladay was Stafford, that would work because Stafford took less money. But no, I think he's gonna say, just franchise me and give me $30 million, and then I'm gonna go and get me a long-term contract worth $20 million.
And he's never had a big payday.
I get that, and it is what it is because these guys are young, but there's something to be said. I like that leaders of a team like Stafford will take pay cuts to accommodate the team and like being able to do other things with the team. But I'm also very, very aware that this is a business, and in any business, you are trying to make the most money that you possibly can.
And I compare this kind of to like when Stafford went out. I mean, you could say that him going out and being injured undermines his value because a lot of people brought up like injury concerns with the back, and I think his back has looked fine the entire season. But I was like, we were 0-8 without him. And even if it does undermine Kenny a bit, like it's much harder to win games now. Like without him out there, it seems like an extreme. It's already an uphill battle with him playing. I'm not saying he's a miracle worker. Mm-hmm. It's already an uphill battle, but when he's not out there, I mean, it's like we down 14 in every game before the game even starts. And so I think it just I compare it a little bit more to like when Stafford was out and you just knew he wasn't playing. David Blau and Jeff Driscoll, they were good. They were good enough to win in some games. Our receivers have played good enough to win in some games, but we still couldn't get it done for whatever reason it was. So that's just how I look at it.
Hey, Rachel,
Yeah.
I got 2 fun facts for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Fun fact number 1. Steve Mariucci was fired week 12. What week is
Huh.
it this week
Huh.
12?
That is interesting.
Here go a fun fact for you, number 2. Fun fact number 2. Steve Mariucci entire seasons with the Detroit Lions had a record of 15. I'm gonna say it again because I know some people are hard of hearing. 15 and 28. Matt Patricia's current record, 13, 28, and 1.
Scary.
One more loss, and he would be on par with one Steve Mariucci with the fact that he got a tie. But here's the best fun fact. It's a bonus fun fact for you. This is my all-time favorite fun fact for you. You ready? This one, you're gonna love this one. When they fired Steve Mariucci, he was actually told that he was fired before the game even ended.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to go and find an old newspaper report for that, but he was told that he was fired before the game ended, per what Steve Mariucci said. The way that Matt Patricia's been talking this week, I'm almost feeling like he might have been told the same thing. I ain't putting nothing out there, people. I'm just giving y'all some fun facts. That's all. Just a few fun facts for y'all to know.
I like the little conspiracy theories.
Well,
It would
you know,
be.
I'm just saying.
When you tell me that, like, I can't look. I don't even mean this completely. This is why I can't wait for Stafford to go to another team, because when you tell me that, Stafford gets the blame for that record, and I'm just like, it just pisses me off how terrible this guy is, and he just wasting. It's not just Stafford. It's Galladay. It's Eric. He just wasting the entire team, and he destroyed the team and tried to build it from the ground up. But like, you gave Stafford a coach that was worse than Steve Mariucci. How can you do that?
Well, not everybody around the league is forgetting that Matthew Stafford deserves some credit. You guys all saw, and hopefully you guys in the chat saw as well, that Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show, or whatever it's called. I think it's just called the Pat McAfee show.
Yes.
And they were talking about no-look throws. And, Pat McAfee kind of said, yeah, I'm so glad that Patrick Mahomes brought that into the league. And, Aaron Rodgers disagrees. He says, like, some of us hasn't been doing that. But he then points out that Matt Stafford has been doing that and can throw from any arm angle. I mean, that's what Aaron Rodgers says. Words out of Rodgers' mouth is that Stafford can throw from any arm angle, and he's the king of the no-look pass. So he's given him some love. He's saying he doesn't get anywhere near the credit that he deserves. And they speculate about whether or not that's because he's in Detroit. But based on that and kind of the conversation that we're having right now, where we are in the season, what are your assumptions about whether or not Stafford will be back in Detroit this next year?
I think he'll be back, but I also think he's tired. I think he's exhausted. I think he goes home and talks to his wife. His wife gets irritated and get tired of hearing it. And every chance she get the last shot, she do. And I think that at the end of the day, that he'll be here next season. But I think if she just come to him and say, because one thing she's not going to tell him to do is stop playing football. But if she go to him and say, sweetheart, I want to do something for me. We've given this city everything we could. I want to go somewhere else. And he's like, okay. And they're going to do it that he can be out. But the problem is the contract. And so with that being said, he's going to either have to retire or request a trade and play hardball and be prepared to do so. So as far as I'm concerned, he will be here next season.
Okay. Before I go to you, JMO, guys in the chat, get some questions ready for us. Whatever you guys want to talk about, throw them in the chat now. We are a smaller group, so obviously we ran through our questions pretty quick. Whatever you guys want to talk about, get them in there now. JMO, what do you think? What do you think about Stafford being back in Detroit next season?
Well, I definitely think he'll be here. But I wanted to talk about what Aaron Rodgers said.
Yeah.
Because I just found this out like a few hours ago, and like I said, I almost had a stroke. Like I'm like, Aaron Rodgers did not just go on TV and just say the most 100% facts that I've been saying about Matthew Stafford his entire career. I've literally said there isn't a throw he can't make. Besides, the only thing I haven't seen him do is throw a left-handed pass. And don't test him. Like, really, don't, because he'll do it. So, and Aaron Rodgers knows that because he goes against him. I've always said, like, Stafford's biggest detriment to his career is being in a division with the one guy who's better than you. Like, it's just clear. Like, I feel like if he was in a lot of other divisions, there'll be debates. But it's just clear Rodgers is a better quarterback. He's better than a lot of people. But I've seen Stafford will be held in a much higher light if he wasn't in the division. And Rodgers knows that. And when Pat McAfee brought up that we got blown out 20-0 to the Panthers, what did Rodgers say? He literally said, "Yeah, but
he said they had injuries."
He
Come
said,
on,
"Yeah,
man.
he said he lost some of his guys." Like I'm like, Rodgers knows the game, and the respect that Stafford gets from the football players and not from the fans is crazy to me. This is why Bucky Brooks puts him as a top 5 transcendent quarterback. And when Carson Palmer is asked, who's the greatest thrower of football or best quarterback talent you ever seen? After naming Aaron Rodgers, he literally says Matthew Stafford is the greatest thrower of football I've ever seen. So we know the guy has the talent, and I just love when he gets the respect. And that's why Lions fans hate it, because when I say something like that and when you bring it up as a defensive Stafford, the only thing they can do is revert to their classic arguments and just ignore the facts and reality. But what Aaron Rodgers said is the reason why I think Stafford will still be here. You know, I think he'll be here even if we switch coaching staffs, because you tell me, Luke, that his value is decreasing. Well, I feel like if I'm a coach, why would I want to bring a rookie into this situation without a chance to at least sit for one season? So to me, that's why I like Stafford to be here regardless, even if he got a new quarterback, because that quarterback would be sick.
Well, yeah, his value his value is decreased, and this is the reality of how it works. The injuries are mounting up. Some executives pay attention to the media who ain't really paying attention to the game, and then on top of all that, you know, even Joey Harrington came out and talked about how important it was and what it was like being here in the latest article, and saying how he wished he could have sat because I was able to beat people because I was more prepared than them, and in this case, I wasn't even expecting to start that season because I was told I wasn't. So yeah, his values definitely went down. But the problem is if he hit the open market, then his value will be up for some teams. But in terms of you trading him and getting value, no, it's not happening.
Well, and my answer to this question came along with, I don't know if anybody knows the exact stat on this. I should have looked it up before the show, but don't we take a lot of a big dead cap hit for his salary if we were to let him go next season?
Well, I can look it up right quick.
Yes, we do.
I'm almost positive we had been talking about that earlier in the year, and because of that, my answer is that
I
yes,
think they
he
were
will.
mainly talking about this year, because this year his cap hit is like literally $30 million. And you know, Lions fans, they're like, "Oh, let's just get rid of Stafford." You know, that's why we were mainly talking about
right. And you're like, you can't do that when you're gonna
$30 million. Yeah, and he restructured his deal, but I don't think his deal is that much longer. It's like 2 years, right?
Right. I think after next season, I almost want to say after next season it's up, but like I said, I should have looked this up.
Yeah. So this season is $32 million. If we would have cut him, it'd have been a dead money, and you would have saved nothing. And then next year it's $19 million. So if you get rid of him, and next year, you take a $19 million cap hit, but you save $14 million. However, next year, if they did decide to cut him, not to cut him, but trade him, they can have the other team take some of that relief off of them. That's the thing. And then you go to that year of 2023. 2022, where the dead money is $6 million, but you save 20. So yeah, if you're talking about keeping him next year, bringing in a rookie quarterback,
for sure.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you're bringing in a rookie quarterback. It works.
Yeah,
That's
every reason in the book is saying he'll, at least for next season, he's definitely going to be here. You got to bring up your
yeah.
quarterback, the money, the cap, the trading, everything.
And that's where my answer was. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a bit of a dead cap hit. And honestly, I have to believe and I hope that what they'll do is draft a quarterback next year to sit under a veteran. I mean, especially a veteran with the talent that Stafford has. I mean, how much longer than that? I'm not 100% sure. I do think like next season they'll start making moves for the inevitable, you know, Stafford is somewhere else or retires or something like that. But I definitely think he is back next year for sure.
Yeah, he has to be. I mean, unless you get somebody to eat that cap, or you get him to take a pay cut and then trade him, I don't see how you can move him.
No, I mean, he's already taking pay cuts. But I think we all agree he'll be back next year. Do you guys think that we're gonna take a quarterback in the draft next year?
Yes, we have to. We have to. We're going to have a high enough pick, and we have to. And whoever that quarterback is will get something that Stafford didn't get a chance to do, and that's it. He's going to get a chance to get that same treatment that Tom Brady got with Drew Bledsoe, that same treatment that Patrick Mahomes got with Alex Smith, that same treatment that Aaron Rodgers got with Brett Favre, and that's been able to sit. And so, yes, they have to take a quarterback next year. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want a quarterback this year, because I knew he was going to suck. I knew it. I knew he was going to be at least in the top 10 draft. And I'm like, at this point, ain't no point in taking no quarterback, because whoever comes in should have the pick of who they want. Just like I didn't think that we should have picked up Danny Amendola, because that draft has so many receivers in it, so many good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see it. So, to me, 100% they're going to take a quarterback next year.
Okay, JMO, agree or disagree?
About what?
That do the Lions take a quarterback in next year's draft? I mean, not with the
Uh,
first pick. We're gonna move to that question next. I just threw it up on the screen, but like just as far
I
as
mean, yeah, they'll pick up a quarterback somewhere in the draft.
okay, yeah, then we're all in agreement on that. And we'll follow it up with Larry Landers, who I think was Harry Zanders before, right? I recognize
Mm-hmm.
that little
Yep.
picture. He's asking, what should the draft pick be with our first round pick in the 2021 NFL draft? What do you think, Luke?
You got to tell me where we picking it. If we're in the top 10, it's quarterback.
Okay.
It's quarterback. So if you're outside of the top 10, it's offensive lineman or linebacker. But that's just the reality. We know Lions fans are gonna say, but what about receiver? Those come a dime a dozen. Quit panicking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you're in the top 20, then if you want to get a receiver and one's there, feel free to do so. But if it was me and I'm in the 20 pick, I'm taking the best, most dominating defensive lineman I can get. But they'll be in the top 10 somewhere, and at that point, it's a quarterback.
Okay. JMO, what do you think? First pick in the 2020 NFL draft. Obviously, Luke's answer was different inside and outside the top 10 pick.
I don't care where the pick is. I'm taking the best front seven player available. Our front seven is the problem with this team, and it just definitely needs to be fixed. I don't know about. I mean, they it's one linebacker prospect that everyone wants to talk about, but we'll see how it goes with the season. But we really need linebackers and defensive linemen that are impact players. Like, so I've been saying this for about the last 3 years. Even with the TJ Hawkinson draft, I wanted Josh Allen. So finally, hopefully, we can actually take. I mean, Bob Quinn has never taken a defensive lineman in the first round. Now that I'm thinking about it. So,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. It's just crazy. But yeah, the best player in the front seven. I'm not really focused on position. As long as it's a front seven and it's dominant, that's where I'm taking. No matter where we are in the first round.
Okay. I mean,
Unless we're top three. Now, if we top three, I'm gonna take a quarterback. But
oh,
other than
yeah.
top three, yeah, because that, like, I just want people to know, like, you're top three, you have to take a quarterback. That's like, but
I think
other than that, yeah.
I think there's no question there. If for some reason the Lions have a high enough draft pick or something and Fields is on the board, then you're like, all right, thank you. And you move on. But yeah, I'm kind of with you as well as far as I just know that there are a lot of defensive contracts that are going to be up next season and just wondering how we're going to kind of work all of that stuff out. So I'm kind of with you as far as the front seven there. This one we'll roll through really quick. Fake Matt Patricia. Can Lions fans give me one more year? I think it's a no all
Yes.
around.
No. Yes. Give him another year. Yes. Give him another year because Lion fans don't understand punishment. They don't understand punishment until it happens.
Well,
No.
yeah, it's a no. It's a no. That dude live says, DSA, who do you want to see as our future head coach?
David Shaw.
Oh, okay, that was quick. I was gonna say I'm kind of torn on this. There's a few people more recently.
Jim Harbaugh, man.
Okay, because I've heard you guys explain that multiple
Jim Harbaugh
times.
train
Yeah,
until he's not our coach. Like I'm gonna push this train.
and you're saying David Shaw, Luke?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. David Shaw. First of all, when Jim Harbaugh left Stanford, everybody was like, "Okay, they got David Shaw. You know, it's gonna be a bit of a drop off." No drop off. No drop off. People forget those players on Stanford have high GPAs. You don't get to just go there for football scholarship like some other schools. You come there with a 2 point if you want to, you're not getting in. And so he's doing that with that restriction and still putting out a good product that you can see is performing. He's still putting people in the draft. He still is evaluating talent. I watch him day in and day out on the draft shows and different draft analyzing analytics shows where he's literally just breaking down like this person right here weakness is this, and I go and look and be like, well, I'll be damn, he right. Or he'll say something yeah, this guy right here got long arms, but he overextends here. But here's where he gets you at. He's a powerhouse here, and so he's a big time student of the game who has built a program in Stanford. And if he leaves Stanford, you're going to see them suffering. I thought that Jim Harbaugh leaving would have created more of a gap, and it hasn't. And I just been watching Stanford like, yo, this dude is still coaching them. They're still performing, and we can't even name their quarterbacks. We can't even name most of their players, and yet he's still getting the best out of them. I think he can be the right guy, right temperament, the right person to get things on track, and I think he's somebody who should be given a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like the fact that has he been an NFL coach before?
Nope. But here's the thing.
Yeah, I'm not with that. I'm not.
Here's the thing. I said that they have to have a history of being a head coach.
That's just how I feel. Like that's the reason why I'm not taking him. Or at least not over Jim Harbaugh. At least
I feel you, but Steve Mariucci was an NFL head coach. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but he ain't Jim Harbaugh, who's had nothing but like success in the NFL.
Let me ask you a question. Ain't you a Michigan fan?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is this: as a Michigan fan, why are you trying to get him so fast up out of Michigan to come to the Lions?
Well, I just think the college football isn't for him. It's not about getting him here to come to the Lions. It isn't for him. And then when I look about how it isn't for him and I think about head coaching candidates, to me, he's the better head coach than basically everyone out there that's available. And I'm like, please come save us, because I've seen him do wonders with San Francisco. And I've always said, I know that he'll pick a quarterback that he can be able to build and work around. And he'll still have Stafford. So I trust him to be able to build after Stafford a lot more than these other guys.
Okay, fair point. Can't argue with that logic. Fair point.
Well, there you go. And the next question was Luke. You said, I have a question. What can the Lions learn from the Pistons? I'm not going to lie. I have no place in answering this question. So what can the Lions learn from the Pistons, JMO?
Whew. What can the Lions learn from the Pistons? First of all, you get rid of Matt Patricia. Well, you have to learn to be aggressive. Like, that's what the Pistons have been doing, trying to build their team. Like, the Pistons they basically was like, I'll give you an example. If we kept Swift, Galladay, Hawkinson, and Stafford and just got rid of everyone else, and when I mean everyone, of course, I'm not talking about O-line, and you have to keep them. But besides guys that you have to keep because football is a bigger sport, get rid of everybody else. I'm talking like 40 people on the team are gone. 40. I'm talking big numbers. You know what I mean? I mean not 40, maybe 35 O-linemen. 35, 38 people are gone and just gut them. Why? Because they ain't good enough for whatever you're trying to build. And that's basically what Troy Weaver did. He was like, Blake is good, Sekou's good, Derrick Rose is good, Steve is good, everybody else, y'all go. We rebuild it. And I would love for a coach to come in here and actually build a team around Stafford and the quarterback that's going to be after him. But that's what they need to learn. You have to be aggressive and you have to put the right people in position. And you have to win trades. Lions don't win trades. So, I mean, we don't really trade a lot, but you have to be good at trading in free agency. It's just like Troy Weaver is better than Bob Quinn in every facet. So I could go on for years and years about what they need to do. But the last thing I'll say, when you have Isaiah Simmons on the board, you take him. Yes, I sound upset because I am.
He says I am.
Rachel, when I tell you we all, I mean, for like the last 6 months, we've been salivating over a point guard named Killian.
And he was gonna take him.
We talking about we just salivate like just take Killian. He's the guy. He's the one. And he was on the board, and they actually took him. That doesn't happen with the Pistons. So to me,
the Lions.
That will. No, I mean it doesn't happen with the Pistons either, and that's different.
But it did this time, is what you're saying. Made it
so
special. Yeah.
But Isaiah Simmons will be so much better right now. So much better off. We have Amani and Trufant like we have now. Amani and Trufant starting, but I could go on for years about what Bob Quinn needs to do.
Well, we need to have Troy Weaver hit him up then. But all right, we're gonna roll through real quick some of these other.
Let me just hit that. I just hit that question, and you can run through it. The biggest thing that I noticed about Troy Weaver, and it's not saying that he's doing something great, but the three things that jumped out to me was: one, he was very aggressive. Two, he didn't just evaluate the Pistons from what they did the last season. He evaluated the Pistons from what they did when they were great, and he went out and is trying to replicate what we did when we were great. When we were the bad boys and when we were the 04 Pistons. He went out and said, I'm going to put talent on this team, if at all, nothing else, regardless of who the head coach is, we'll have talent. And the Pistons set that blueprint clear as day because it's the same thing the Red Wings are doing, and it's the same thing that the Lions should do. Take the talent, regardless of who your head coach is, and tell them, listen, if you can't make this talent work, then you're probably not the head coach for me. That's what I think the Lions can learn from the Pistons.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I learn what I learn about the Pistons from you guys. Maybe it'll like revamp me into a bigger basketball fan, follow the Pistons. They can start making some stuff happen. But let's go ahead and just run through some of these questions. We'll keep really, really brief answers because we have a few here. Seth Walker says, hey, Seth, how are you? He says if Patricia gets fired after the game with a loss, then does Quinn get shown the door with him? What do you think, J-Mo?
Hit the road, Jack.
Right, they're connected to him.
Hit the road.
That's all I got to say. Nice and short. Hit the road. Bye.
You think so too, Luke?
Yeah, they're connected at the hip because you got to keep in mind, he's the reason that they don't have a winning season no more. When he fired Caldwell after a winning season, they didn't want to do this, but he assured them that there was a better option to get them over the hump. He has failed in that regard.
I agree. I think they are tied together, and I think if one goes, they both go. This one's directed right at you, Luke. Would you take Borgonzi as GM?
I didn't do enough research on him. I know who he is, but I haven't done enough research on him. No. My top pick is Wolf from the Browns because I think the Browns have a lot of freaking talent. And as a dark horse, if you're going to give somebody a first-time chance to try like John Lynch, it's Peyton Manning.
Okay. That dude live says DSA 50% of our roster will be free agents in 2021.
Don't remind me.
Who do you want to see back? J-Mo, you start.
I don't know who all are free agents, but at least on defense, I want to see Reggie Ragland back. I know he would be like, y'all got to pay me millions of dollars. Don't overpay. But I like to see him back because he can play football. If Deshaun Hand's a free agent, I'd like to lowball him. I would like to keep Jared Davis, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And It was somebody else on deep. Romeo Core for sure, definitely.
Gotta extend him.
I'm
Gotta
keeping
extend
him.
him.
And I want to keep Marvin Jones. I don't know,
Me
man. That's just
too.
me.
Me
Like,
too.
put him in the
No,
slot. Put him in the slot, man.
I
Put
don't.
him in the slot.
And to
Like,
be completely honest with you, I don't even think he would demand that much money. I think you could give him
neither.
like I think you could give him maybe even a Danny Amendola style contract, but 6 million for Marvin Jones is a different story
Oh,
to me.
yes, please.
What do you think about that, Luke? 6 million to extend Marvin Jones another year?
People was laughing at me. They were like, "Man, we got to trade Marvin Jones," and I was like, "For what? like,
Right. He's
like,
productive.
what, what is the problem? $6 million a year. Yeah, I mean, we gave 6 million to Danny Amendola for 600 yards. So, I mean, I normally get more than 600 out of Marvin. So,
Yeah, absolutely. But besides that, who do you want to see back, seeing that a lot of our roster is going to be up for free agency in 2021?
Jared Davis, Danny Shelton,
Mm-hmm.
and on offense, who I want to see back. Um, Honestly, I want to see Jesse James back because I think whoever comes in is going to move on from him. Um, because you can get some money there, but I think they should keep him because we haven't had a chance to really expose our two tight end system. So I want to keep him in the fold. That's who I will want. But outside of that, I mean, there's a few other people. It's easy for me to tell you who I don't want back. I mean, that's how much
Right.
easier it is. Like Danny Amendola, bye. Deron
Yeah.
Hartman, bye. Daphne Trufant, bye. No, I'm over it.
I
So
hear you. I mean, the winning answer for me here was Marvin Jones. I really, really like him, and I don't think that he would be asking for too much. I would love to see him extended. So let's keep rolling. I'm scrolling through.
I just feel like with him, even though like Tate was a little bit different, just and we got rid of Tate and I kind of wanted him gone, but if you can give him a low deal, like I just don't see why you wouldn't keep him on the team. I don't under Marvin Jones he has 5 touchdowns, like 500 yards, like he's solid, man. And this is
100%.
a bad season for him, like for people. like so that I think that's the point.
100%. Seth says, "What is Jared Davis's future after this season?" I obviously know that you guys want to see him get an extension with the Lions. I think this is the most basic answer I could possibly give if that is not the case, and that is that he ends up being signed by a team that has been watching him most likely for years and knows how to use him.
yep.
Yeah, he's gonna go to the Steelers and have 10 sacks. Y'all think I'm joking?
Yeah,
You gotta imagine somebody out
No, he's
there
going to the
has been
Steelers. Like,
eyeballing
it's not
him.
somebody. He's going to the Steelers.
I mean, but as long as it's a
He's
defense,
going. Like, I would be surprised if he's not a Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been wanting him since we drafted him.
but it's not just the Steelers that like him. The Texans like him. The Titans like him. The Ravens would look at him.
Ravens and Titans, he would be nice.
I mean, you got to go through the
Yeah.
list. There's a lot of people there's a lot of teams who are looking for good linebacker play, and I'm telling you right now, when it happened, because you remember all the fans wanted Ed Oliver. He's doing so great. Anyway, to me, he'll get a huge free agent market, in my opinion. I remember the thing with Tavon Wilson. I was like, dude, this guy's going to probably be the third or fourth wave of free agency, and he was. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so this builds on that last question that was directed right at you, Luke. Would you take Barzongi or Louis Riddick as GM? Have you done a little bit more research on one or the other?
I'm not a fan of Louis Riddick. The other one, the Kansas City, I want to do a little bit more research on him, but I'm familiar with Louis Riddick. I've seen Louis Riddick say some things on TV that I'm trying to figure out why. Like
Hey
what the
man, nah, I'm
hell?
all I'm all supporting Louis Riddick after I seen him say some things about the Lions. So I was like, oh, he knows what's going on here.
Yeah. They all do that. It's called fluff. Yeah, don't fluff my pillow. I'm good. I'm
Hey,
good.
but when fluff isn't prompted, it ain't fluff. That's just the way I think about it.
I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying that I would pass on it. God and Oliver doing so good. That dude's a beast. Huh.
Oh
No,
man.
but no, but you know what they did, Luke? They switched to Brian. They switched to Brian Burns because they can't say Oliver. So now they saying Brian Burns. And
I
I
know,
was
I
like, I
know,
hate
I
y'all
know,
Lions fans. So,
I know.
we gonna forget about Ed Oliver. Now we like, yeah, but and I know I was high on Brian Burns as well. He's a top 5 prospect. That's known. But now they want to switch over to Brian Burns, and I'm like, but really,
Oh no, listen.
really,
I love my Devin Bush people. I'm like, he's hurt.
come on,
He's hurt. TJ Hawkins has been hurt. Injuries
right?
happen. I mean, let's stop playing. But I'm just saying, but that Ed Oliver though, you have no clue how many times I've heard we should have taken Ed Oliver, and I'm like, well, all right, that guy, yeah, he's awesome.
Larry
Mm-hmm.
Landers says, I changed my name to two L's because we don't win. When we become a good team, I will change it back. Call me Mr. Double L's from today. So he's going based off of
Wow.
our season. And he says, so do we fire Bevel and Unlin from the coaching staff too? My answer to that is if you are changing out this regime, you let this new regime pick who they want. So yes, you let them. The only person that I think I would certainly like to see back because I wouldn't even understand somebody wanting to switch him out would be Braden Coombs. What do you guys think? You start, Luke.
But Braden Combs and Haley, the offensive line coach, them two, like I would definitely want back. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he could stay too.
yeah, you got to get rid of
Most definitely
everybody
he
else, in my
said.
opinion. And the thing is this. I hope people understand why I was like, nope, let Patricia get through the whole season or get to as deep into the season before firing him. Because I'm like, yo, if you go out there and Daryl Bevel, who we are now seeing, is shocking all of us, like what the hell? We were told from Minnesota Viking fan, like the dude play calling it sucks. Um, we are now seeing. Imagine if he go out and had a rattled off some wins and they make the playoffs. He would have been our next head coach.
Hmm.
Mm, mm, mm.
Do
Put
you
that in
think?
your pipe and smoke it.
What do you think, JMO? Do we fire Bevel and Unlin from the coaching staff too? Who do we keep?
No, yeah, I agree with you. You keep Braden Coombs and the O line coach. Like, if they got rid of Braden Coombs, I might make a red video. Like, like that's how good he's been. You know.
Yeah. All right, Shad. We got two more. That's all we're taking. Then we're gonna sign off. Shad says, "Do you guys think the NFL will hold open tryouts in the future?" Go ahead, Luke. What do you think?
You talking about for like players?
I would assume that's what he's talking about. That's how I'm reading it, at
Yeah.
least.
I mean, they already
Yeah.
do that. They do that. They do that every year. Like
I think
Yeah.
literally.
Don't
just
they
not this
have
year.
tryout camps where you know run of the mill
Right.
guys and try to get
I
lucky?
think they. I think he's saying because they didn't do it this year because of COVID, so there were no
Yeah.
open tryouts or anything for any teams.
Yeah, but they shouldn't do it because of COVID. Like, listen, people, I don't lost too many people to this dumb virus, and so to me, it's
Me too.
beyond real. It's beyond real for me. So yeah, they shouldn't do it, and so but they've been doing it, and yeah, they'll continue to do it. They'll give you your shot. You got to just show them what you got. It is what it is. I mean, how you think PJ Walker? He should stay with it, and he had to try out to get onto the team that he got onto. So I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's,
I
it's
agree. I agree. You any different opinion, JMO?
No, I mean they are open tryouts, so yeah, I definitely think they'll continue to do that.
I agree. Last question, Larry Landers. Will Buffalo Bills break the Steelers' undefeated streak? He says yes. What do you guys think? JMO, you take that first.
Um, all I'm gonna say is let's see what happened on Thursday
Okay. What about you, Luke? What do you
because
think?
they
I think
play the Ravens on Thursday. So.
Well, maybe the Ravens have like a flare
Yeah,
up
they
of
got people on
COVID
the COVID list
cases
and
right
everything.
now.
But see, what you won't notice that they missing people win this game. I bet you. That's the
That's
organization.
true. That's probably true.
And also you got to keep in mind that in Mike Tomlin head, greatness is not going undefeated and losing in the Super Bowl. It's winning the Super Bowl. So he doesn't care if he take an L there. He got the best record. He's already going to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and he's going to get a bye. He's straight. He don't care, if he lose to the Buffalo Bills. They're not in his division.
Right.
They're not the threat to him. So yeah, he don't care. It's
Right.
possible.
I'm just going to steal JMO's answer from, like, I think last Tuesday's show or some show. He mentioned that he's not predicting games anymore. And I stand firmly in that. I don't want to predict Lions scores. I don't want to predict other people's scores. I just want my fantasy football team to win. And I'm not going to pretend like I know what the hell is going to happen in any game this season because I've been way off.
Facts. It's hard to do. And like I said, to me, I've been wrong a lot this season. Particularly, when we first got Darrell Bell, I was like, we're going to run the ball. And then what did he do? He started running the ball. And I was like, yes, he's running the ball. And then it just was like, no. And I was like, is this Matt Patricia? And then I kept looking and I was like, nope, he letting him call his game plan.
Yeah, it is. It's been too all over the place to really hone in on for me. So I liked that JMO took that stance the other week. I'm like, yeah, me either. I'm not predicting games either. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't make a prediction. Look what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's been a tough season. It's so up and down. But on that note, we will go ahead and close out tonight's show. We will do our final thoughts, and we can start with you, JMO.
Lions, I got a message to y'all. If y'all don't do one thing, I need y'all to win this game. I don't really care about much, but I care about the Thanksgiving games, and it's against a team that's, I'm not gonna say any team worse than us, a team that's of our level. And we're at home. We should beat this team. Just go out and do me that favor. After that, just make sure you beat Green Bay once. And in Chicago, and I'll be cool with being 7-9 like that. Not cool, but y'all know what I mean because I know I'm not cool going, but y'all know what I mean. Just win this game, just I need this dub. I really do. I don't want to lose to a 2-8, a 3-7 Houston team. Yeah, I just don't.
Facts. So I will follow up with
pay Kenny Galladay.
There we go. And I will follow up with my final thoughts, seconding off of JMO. If we're talking to the Lions, yes, please win this game. It's been a couple Thanksgivings since we won one, and I keep going to Thanksgivings with the Bears fans, and we've been playing the Bears, so it's been rough these past couple Thanksgivings. I would really, really, really like the W. But also, if you guys want to drag yourself out of the post-shutout Sunday blues, I came across the very first YouTube video that I ever made, and it talks about the timeline for recovering from a Lions loss. It is very silly. It's ridiculous. There's nothing serious about it. It's parody. But go watch that if you want to laugh. I posted it on Twitter at Rach Marie Sports. And all that to be said, as always, one pride. Luke, and happy Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving, everyone. And Luke, you can take us out.
Most definitely happy Thanksgiving for sure.
Well, as always, to all the people who showed up with us, man, it's always fun to talk sports, and whether we agree or disagree, it's beautiful to just do so. Today's positive quote comes from an unlikely source, and it's just because I saw a movie that I love that he did, even though he took an L in that movie, and that's one Mr. Chuck Norris, and I'm talking about that movie in which he took an L to one Mr. Bruce Lee, but I love that movie, and Chuck Norris got me to thinking, yes. I remember he said this a long time ago. He says a lot of people give up just before they're about to make it. People, y'all don't understand. He says a lot of people give up just before they're about to make it. You know that at some point in time you have given up. And look back on that moment and said, dang, I was that close. Keep this in the back of your mind. Just because you arrive to your destination does not mean that the race is over. It has just begun. You are going to have to find some way to motivate yourself to be in a place that is in a constant state of panic to be better than where you just got. The moment you decide to accept where you are at and where you stopped at is the moment that you become the most simple person who weathers away and die and ask yourself that question of, I have so much left to do. Why didn't I do it? Don't be that person, people. Please keep pushing towards your dreams. Don't give up. Don't stop yourself because you're getting close to it or because some simple, small minded obstacle got in your way. Simply just tell yourself that, hey, if I had not tried, I would not have known. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Please go and check out her Twitter page because she do post a lot of funny stuff. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.